Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Such Good Shoot, the podcast about anything and everything in the world of wrestling. Tonight, we come to you live with a very special guest, VAMPIRO!
What up, man?
Yo, welcome to SGS, man.
Yeah, it's good to have you.
Truly honored to have you.
Good to be here, brother. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no, like we're our very first episode of this this show, which I tried to watch and it was kind of unwatchable at this point. But we reviewed the Human Torch match back in the day, and it was, and so it's really fun to be here now and actually getting to talk to you. And I guess like to go off that, like whose idea was that?
What, to do, just get high or what?
Oh, no, well, no. I mean, I think that's been a pretty common idea. No, the Human Torch match.
It wasn't mine. I don't know who came up with that. I think somebody in WCW had an idea, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know who it was.
Well, what was your reaction when they told you that was what they wanted you to do?
Like, there's a lot of rumors out there that they're not rumors. It's pretty obvious. Sting doesn't like me, and I don't know what happened because when we started working together, I was very respectful and I was very grateful. It really bothered him that I had the face paint on, you know. And when I first got to WCW, they treated me like I was a new guy. And when I got there and I told them, I said, well, I've been doing this in Mexico for about 13 years before I even came here, 14 maybe. So I've been doing the Vampiro character since 1984, and I'm not sure what the problem is. And I felt I was so grateful to have the opportunity, but you know, I was petrified, scared of heights, like a motherfucker, you know. And
That's understandable.
he didn't really want to work with me, and he really. I planned that match in my head for about 6 months. I worked it out. This was my moment to shine, and when we got out there, and he, instead of doing like a 35-minute match, it was about 6 minutes long.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed. I was so let down. But that was like one of the things that made me realize the entertainment world, music, acting, wrestling, there was a lot of evil jealousy. And if people can fuck you over, they will. And he did right then and there. So that bothered me to this day. I think it bothered him even more that he even had to be in the match. But it really sucked because I put my time in. I was ready to go. And going up there scared the shit out of me, dude. I was scared to death, and he was fucking with me the whole way up, you know, like he was trying to push me off and stuff. And I was like, I'm going to kill you. So chill out, brother.
Well, and then you think, how does a guy like Shane McMahon take a dive, like a bump off, like even do a airbag? Like, I don't know, man. That's crazy to me. I don't like heights.
Yeah, I just say no to drugs, dude.
Yeah, it's a kind of have to these days, man. Get too old for that shit.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I know
Dead air.
Yeah.
well, no, so
Speaking of drugs,
I know at least I've heard through the grapevine that you're a big gamer, and obviously you talk about it through a bunch of the documentary. What's your favorite game right now?
I'm a real big Call of Duty guy.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm getting into playing the games online with other gamers and fans and stuff like that. Sometimes I go as Vampiro in the WWE game and I wrestle guys, but I don't tell them it's me until it's over and they don't believe it. But Call of Duty has always been my thing, Modern Warfare, those kind of games, because I live a very stressful life, you know what I'm saying? And those are games I really, really enjoy to do by myself. I love those games. I play a lot of NHL hockey. I play soccer, things like that. I don't really get into what's that with Fortnite and all that bullshit. I want to kill all those little kids, you know? So that's not
yeah, Fortnite's not very punk rock, man.
No, it's not.
It is not at all. It's not at all. Do you have? I mean, have you been into gaming forever? Is this like a newer?
Dude, I've been into gaming since before you were born, brother.
All right. Yeah, I wasn't sure. What's so all time like favorite game? All time favorite game.
When I first got into gaming, the only two games were Invaders. You know that you had the spaceship.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pac-Man. That was all there was back then. And but I've always been a PlayStation guy, so I really like the horror games like Resident Evil and all that.
Oh, okay.
Which one do you like? Which one was your favorite? I was always Resident Evil 2. I love
the very first one. It freaked me out. The very first one, on PlayStation 1.
That was the one in the house?
No, that was the one.
That was the police station.
Yeah.
Yeah, the police station.
Yeah.
Isaac, do you ever play Resident Evil 4?
With I played the one with the virtual reality glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, that'll leave you fucking traumatized for the rest.
That was a new one.
That game will scare the shit out of you, and it's awesome because, I mean, the motherfucker is right there, and you're like, you turn around, he's not. He's right in your fucking face. It'll scare the shit out of you, dude. I loved it. I thought it was the most amazing thing. I can only play it like once every 2 years or whatever because it's too scary.
Yeah, I just had a thought. I mean, obviously this would be very dangerous for a lot of reasons, but could anybody imagine like a wrestling VR thing where like you could put the goggles on and then like be your favorite wrestler or something? Obviously that's way down the line, but that would be something really interesting to see.
There's an Xbox game. They don't have it anymore, but it was a kickboxing thing. So you actually beat somebody, and it was kind of like what's that game? Mortal Kombat. It was kind of like that. We throw kicks and stuff. And there was one in Japan when I used to wrestle there that you would do kickboxing. So you'd throw the elbows and you'd bob and weave and you'd uppercut. And it was pretty cool. But I don't think it ever made it over here. I actually bought it. And it was I can't play on an American console, but I got the game somewhere. But I bought it just because it was so badass.
You gotta get a Krav Maga game going, man.
Oh, I'm good, dude. Yeah. I'm in a different world now, man. Different things going on.
Yeah. Do you not have the Krav Maga school anymore?
No, I don't, because I moved away and then I went to Los Angeles and I was really sick, I was really dealing with the mental health stuff so I couldn't. But I was training Krav Maga because my main school is in Los Angeles. So when I was there, I was going to school. It's more now like. I'm involved with this one project with this tequila company out of Mexico. The tequila is called Desmadre, and they have another side drink coming out that I really can't say because they want to make that announcement. And one of our plans is for promotional stuff, of course, is to give back to the community. So with the Guardian Angels and everything else I've done, I used to do a lot of seminars for women that suffer domestic violence and stuff like that, or young men and women who have mental health issues to give them that extra bit of confidence. So with this tequila brand that I'm working with, one of our things is to, do community style events like that. And it's always not about the party, right? We got to give back. So I'll be doing Krav Maga style seminars once we get rolling on that one. For sure. Yeah.
Very cool.
How long have you been studying Krav Maga?
Since 2000.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that shit's. I love watching those videos on YouTube, man. It blows my mind. It's really badass stuff. So,
yeah, you can't play at it. That's for sure.
No. I mean,
I got to a pretty high level because I'm certified to teach military and police. So to get to that level, that's some pretty extreme shit, So yeah.
Is that? I mean, obviously you're not doing that anymore. Was that tough physically on you when you were getting into the training stuff? I know after years of beating the shit out of yourself in the ring.
I still train pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can, because once it's in you, it's in you.
Yeah.
It's different now because when I brought the system to Mexico City, and I was teaching the SWAT unit down there, some counterterrorism tactics and hostage rescue stuff. Go in, high impact stuff, take the people out. Not a lot of. It was pretty dangerous shit, and I was kidnapped twice because of that. Because I was teaching the police, how to be police officers.
Cartels didn't like that shit, huh?
No, they didn't.
Yeah. Okay.
No, they didn't.
That's Jesus. That's some scary shit, huh?
Yeah, it is.
God damn, dude.
The Krav Maga works. I'm still here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm grateful for that, man, because well, I appreciate your body of work, and
Well, thank you.
it's nice to get to chat with you, and I think one of the things that's really cool is like your ability to get the opportunity to have like a second career in wrestling with Lucha Underground, and as your commentary team with Matt Stryker. What was it like when you got that offer, and like getting to get into that more on American TV again, and just being back in that world?
I think Matt saved my career. I was very sick. I was at the peak of vampirism, you know, but with the head injuries and the trauma, and you know, I was 340 pounds. Right now, I'm 218. So, because of the amount of drugs I was taking for the pain, and I was being prescribed everything you can think of, and I was just turning into this bag of water. I don't know. I believe I was hours away from a heart attack and dying. There's no doubt about it. People saved my life there. I became a vegan, and I got into the medicinal marijuana, and I changed my life. I got into spirituality and all these things. So I'm grateful for that. But Matt, him and I are friends, like we're brothers type thing. But he really gave me the security and confidence to become an announcer. He really helped me because there was no competition between him and I. He likes technical. Yeah. He likes the detail. I'm like, fuck that, dude.
You just loved watching the fights.
I don't know what I do. I just go and sit down. I can't rehearse things, and I can't. If anybody gives me a script, it doesn't really work for me. That's why I do a lot of television, and I don't really do a lot of movie work. In the movie work, I'm real good at the fight choreography and things like that. Being an actor is okay, but I'm much better at an interviewer because I can just riff. I go live. I feel it, and I kind of do the interviews like I did my wrestling matches. I never planned those. I just kind of went in there and kind of fed off the crowd, right? So Matt understood that because he would sit there all fucking day and just do shit, you know. He would sit there and read and write these notes, and I'd be like, I'm gonna punch you in the balls. You're fucking insane, dog. But it worked so well, and the thing about it was like the fact that you guys really got along and really like seemed to genuinely care about each other came across, and it made it more genuine. But your fandom like also was like really contagious. Like there's so many moments that, and you know, it was almost, you would throw off the headset and like jump in the crowd and start just like, yeah. And you, all of a sudden you're gone off a commentary. You're in the crowd cheering with them and freaking out. And like, it was really cool. And was that just spontaneous? I mean, you say you didn't plan anything. So were those moments just spontaneous for you? 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Because I mean, I don't know. I just didn't want to be like anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And I had no idea why that shit happened. It just did.
Well, no, and it was great though. I mean, I think it really helped sell the general atmosphere of like Lucha Underground, the crowd there.
Yeah, I mean the whole show was unique, especially for American wrestling to begin with, and then commentators running in the crowd, all just the crazy ass shit that would go on.
Or getting into a death match with Pentagon.
I mean, I don't know. It was another world, and I thought I never got to say goodbye to the wrestling public like I wanted to. I never got to have my big match. When I came to WCW, there was so much jealousy towards me. I took it the wrong way, and I blamed the company, and I blamed everything. You know, a lot of that had to do with me. But there were guys, they were going to give me the belt. They were going to do other things with me. I was the first guy. I wrestled Ric Flair, Sting, Luger, Hogan, all those guys. I was the new guy they were pushing. And I was getting over. and that really bothered a lot of the bigger stars, and they really did pretty much everything to ruin my career. And then I broke my neck, and that was kind of it.
Do you think things would have been different? Do you think you would have had a different shot had you gone to WWF at the time?
No, because you know what? The company, WCW, had like, I don't know, 130 wrestlers or something like that. I was extremely fortunate. I never got into wrestling to be a famous wrestler and to be a champion. I got in there to rock the fucking house, man, and have that interaction with the people. Because I come from the music world. I was never really a wrestler. I was a hockey player, but I was also a guitar player. And I was really into alternative music. So I wanted to stay an athlete, and I couldn't find guys to play in a band, so I became Vampiro. I was more about that entrance. You know, when you go to a rock show and you see your favorite star, your biggest band, what you want is that when they come out in that explosion and those first notes, and it's like, fuck yeah, they're finally here. Then who cares about the concert? It's like, fucking rock. So I based my career on that. I wanted to come out there and rock you, and then make the ending as spectacular as possible. Just have that interaction. So I was blessed. I was so fortunate to have that opportunity. I've got nothing to complain about, man. Nothing.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice. You mentioned you're really big into the alternative music scene. What are some of your favorite bands there?
Canadian bands or just bands in general?
Whatever you feel you want to talk about.
I mean, my favorite band of all times is from Hamilton, Teenage Head. But bands that really blew me away were like the early Rolling Stones, anything rockabilly from the 50s, but not just like Elvis Presley rockabilly. I'm talking about the gutter rockabilly, like fucking greaser rockabilly, you know, just hardcore rockabilly. The early Rolling Stones, The Who, Iggy Pop and the Stooges, New York Dolls, Sex Pistols, Ramones, Clash, Stray Cats. That's kind of my bubble. There's a lot of other bands that I'll listen to one or two songs. But those bands are bands I play. I copy their music. They were influences. The Misfits, all the New York hardcore bands, Danny Diablo, Agnostic Front, Biohazard. You know, all that shit. That's where I come from.
Nice.
Yeah, the top 40 thing. You know.
Yeah. Well, were you a G.G. Allen fan?
No. I thought he was. No, and I get it. You know what? You should.
Why would anyone be cheating?
Hey man, there's a lot of
hardcore punk rockers. Before he turned into a real piece of shit, I mean, he really made a difference as an artist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't really my thing. No, I appreciated it for what it was, but I don't think it was real. You know what I mean?
Well, he grew up a couple towns over from where I grew up, and they had to take his tombstone down because every year, like on his birthday, like hordes of people would come and like throw shit at his tombstone and do all sorts of stupid shit like that. And the town was like, "Yeah, all right, fuck this."
Yeah, that's not my thing, man. No, I was into very loud rock and roll in a small place. That's just grooving, dude.
Oh yeah. Did you see any of the recent pictures of Johnny Rotten these days? All geared up in his MAGA gear.
Oh, what?
He's all geared up in his MAGA gear and his Trump gear.
Look, man.
that one just blew my mind a little bit.
He's a very, very intelligent guy. And if you listen to him speak about anything, he has a point. So I absolutely refuse to comment or get in politics. I've never been into politics my whole life. The only thing it does is give you grief, and it's just not my thing. So I could give a fuck what he's doing. You know what I'm saying?
He's still one of the greats, no matter what, man. But in music, so you one of the things you did in music was you got to bodyguard for Milli Vanilli.
Yes, I did.
You talk a little bit about it in the documentary that they were a little bit they had some sticky fingers when it came to getting around other famous people's shit.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, that was you stealing their shit. Oh, I thought you were saying that they were stealing their shit.
No,
like, man. I was picturing Milli Vanilli out there like snatching fucking rollies and shit.
No, that was me.
Hey man, there you go. There you go. Well, were they good? Were they good to you though? Were they chill people or what?
No, they weren't. They weren't. They weren't at all. But there was a reason for it, right? I mean, that stage of my life when I was bodyguarding for Milli Vanilli was probably the most important era that I went through to become an artist, because I saw everything. I saw the good, the bad, what was real, what was fake. I saw the hustle. I saw the management. I saw how the money worked. I saw the drugs. I saw
A&R.
I saw fucking everything, because I was there from the day one to the very end. And you know, like a lot of people really don't know what happened. Everybody laughs at Milli Vanilli and everybody laughs at them for lip syncing.
They could sing though.
There isn't one motherfucker today who doesn't lip sync live. And I don't give a shit what you say, except unless you're a punk band and you're in a small bar. But all these artists out there, look, man, go fuck yourselves. But with Milli Vanilli, you know, you got two kids who were street kids. One was an orphan. The other one, his mother was a prostitute and his dad was an American soldier. So what are you growing up as? Then you're getting into night clubbing and you're going to the raves and you're breakdancing and all this kind of shit. And Terrence Trent D'Arby was the number one guy at the time. So he had that look with the braids and the suits. And actually, Frank Farron, who made Milli Vanilli, is a very, very famous record producer. I'm talking ABBA, Boney M, all these big disco bands in the 70s. Like, this motherfucker, if he touched your record album, you were going platinum. So he approached Terrence Trent D'Arby to be Milli Vanilli. And he was like, no, dude, I got my own thing. So he saw these two guys dancing, and they had the braids. And they danced like motherfuckers. So Frank Farron said, I got this idea, and I need two guys to play the models in the video. So they came up with this choreography, and they did the dancing and everything. The song went #1 in every single country in the world pretty much in 4 days. It was bigger than the Beatles. Whether you like it or not, look it up. It just happened.
It was huge.
So they were 22-year-old kids. So if you go from the street and being beaten up your whole life because your parents were prostitutes, the other ones you were come from an orphanage, and you're just treated like shit your whole life, and somebody says, look, motherfucker, here is all the money and the keys to the world. Go play. What the fuck are you going to do? No, God, I don't sing. I can't do that. No. I don't want to go on stage and there's 60,000 girls waiting in my hotel room waiting for me. No, take that Rolex. No, the Porsche. No, I don't want the Porsche. No. That mansion, oh, fuck, it's only got a 25-foot pool. Okay. No, I don't want that. So you put these guys on a world tour with MTV. There's Paula Abdul, New Kids on the Block, Tone Loc, what's his name there? Wahlberg, Marky Mark.
Oh yeah.
All these kids are there, and Milli Vanilli is above all of them. They fucking killed New Kids on the Block.
What they should have.
So everybody is like giving them, and nobody ever asked them if they sang or not. So a year in, say, wait a second, you're sucking our dick for a whole year, telling us we're gods. We never said we sang. You said we sang. Now you're gonna fucking hate us because you can't be us. You'll never be us. You'll never do what we did. Whether you like it or not, we didn't fool you. You were stupid enough to believe in something that wasn't real. It's a big fucking difference when you turn it around. So
which is all they do anyway in that industry. When you get into that level, it's all smoking.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, they had fame. So that taught me to be Vampiro. That was my education right there. Everything that they did, I paid attention to it all. What to do and what not to do, how to treat people, how to look in public.
You had the braids and everything, man.
When Vampiro came to Mexico City, everybody was like, he's a death metal rock and roll guy. And I was like, well, this is Rob's fucking red suit from Milli Vanilli. And his headband and these braids. I mean, I got the cowboy boots on and everything. This is Milli Vanilli in a white guy's body. But if that's what you're going to say, all right.
Go, yeah, run with it. And you did.
I've been running for 40 years, brother.
Yeah, and you've had a damn good run off of it too, man. As the Canadian vampire, what was that transition like? As like growing up in Thunder Bay and ending up in Mexico City.
I was very fortunate that I got to travel because of sports and being in bands. That it wasn't like a little fucking hit going to the metropolis, right? At least I had a little bit of scar tissue on me, and I had lived in LA for a long time too. So,
okay,
when I got there, it wasn't supposed to happen. Vampiro was an accident. You know, I was a homeless kid. I was living under a car on Hollywood Boulevard for about a year, and my life was going nowhere. All my friends were dying or they were in jail, and I was getting into petty crime and things like that. And it was like I had such a promising future as a musician or as an athlete. How did this happen? And I didn't want to die, so I had to make a choice real fucking quick. And I was always in love with pro wrestling, so I had a choice to go to Memphis, Japan, or Mexico City. Japan, you can't get there unless somebody brings you. In Memphis, it just was scary. I didn't understand what was going on, and so I did something bad, and I took that money and I went to Mexico and never looked back.
That's a good way to get to Mexico, man. That's like it's very old school, like Western, man.
It is.
Yeah.
I bought a one-way ticket. I had my pack sack. I got there on New Year's Eve, 1989. And the next day, I didn't have enough money. I only had $60. And I didn't want to spend it on a hotel room because I had no fucking clue what was going to happen. So I went to the gym next day. I found a gym, and I didn't know it was the Arena Mexico, which is the Vatican of pro wrestling. And I was standing in the parking lot with my gym bag, my pack sack, and I was just standing there, and I had this long hair, and I was very skinny and very, very, very white. And, somebody came up to me and was like, what are you doing here? And I said, I'd like to go to the gym and take a shower and all that. And they said, wrestling. And I said, oh shit, pro wrestling. Yeah, I love pro wrestling. And he said, hang on. He went and got somebody and came back, Antonio Pena, who started AAA. And he met me and he spoke broken English. And he was like, what are you doing? And all this kind of stuff. And so the conversation got to be like, what do you want to do with your life? And I was like, pro wrestling sounds fucking great. And he says, have you ever wrestled? I said, absolutely not. He said, where are you from? I said, from Canada. And I turned around, and on the back of my jacket, it said Hollywood Vampires, because I was a real big LA Guns fan, Tracy Guns and all that shit. They were really into vampires. So he said, you like vampires? And I said, yeah. And he said, Vampiro. And I said, yeah, vampire. He says, Canada. Yeah. Vampiro Canadiense, Canadian vampire. I said, that's who you are. I was like, okay. And
Damn,
that was on a Thursday. On the Monday, I made my debut. I maybe trained wrestling 4 minutes in my life.
Well, you on the job training, as they call it, right?
Yeah, I was wrestling 6 and 7 times a day, Monday to Sunday. You know what I mean? So you're going to learn because you learn.
Yeah. Well, in your documentary, Nail in the Coffin, you get into that too, and you're like just wrestling nonstop, and you blew out your knee or whatever, and the promoter's like, yeah, here's the local horse doctor with an injection for you. You better get back out there.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that's got to be a really like scary moment. I mean, I don't want to say come to Jesus moment, but like just a moment where you're like, fuck, man, like I know I really want to do this, but like that, I feel like those are the moments that, separate the people who end up being like really big in the business or big in whatever they do from the people who say, I can't do this anymore and use that as an exit.
I probably should have, but it was kind of like I didn't have time to cry about it because I had 3 more matches that night, and I had the full day the next day and the next day and the next day. And there'll be another injury and another drug taken and another moment in time and another full house. And next thing you know, it just is what it is.
I'm trying to imagine any promotion today running 8 shows a day. Like, it's just out of control.
Like, I mean, sometimes you'd wrestle 2 or 3 times in Mexico City in the morning. You'd take a flight to Cancun. You'd wrestle in Cancun, and then Merida, which is 2 hours away, in the afternoon. And then you'd fly to Monterey and wrestle there at night, and then get in a car and drive another hour and a half to wrestle in Saltillo, and then come
Holy
back
shit.
for a private show to Monterey, and that would be on a Sunday. Yeah,
Whew.
it was like that a lot.
Yeah.
And people complain that the WWE schedule burns them out.
Oh man.
Yeah, kids like that. Well, I mean, and that sort of I have gets into sort of my next question, and it gets into the. I mean, at that point, you kind of don't have any other option but to take the drugs, right, and get into that situation where it's sort of, okay, I just need some painkillers assigned to boost me up, and I know, like there was. I mean, it was an issue for you. Talk about it again, like the highway to Puebla and stuff like that, and being where you're at in this point in life and being a father and I know Dozer is a father, I'm a father, and just having those conversations with your kids with like because I when I was young, man, I mean I did it all too. I was doing oxys, I was smoking crack, doing coke, like whatever I get my hands on to not feel anything, right? And as a father now, being able to have a conversation with my son about it and be honest with him, but also be like, hey, like I don't want you to do this stuff, and not be a hypocrite. Is that something you've had to deal with your daughter and those conversations?
Yes. Yeah, because I'm like, I kept my daughter away from Vampiro. I made sure she didn't know. I wanted her to have a normal life. I didn't want her to see who I was in the ring and all these crazy things. But it got to the point where, everybody's talking and she's, catching on, and you Google and whatever else. And I'm kind of like, listen, I'm tattooed out, my friends are fucking thugs. It's like, look, your dad's different, I'm a very spiritual guy. I'm a very traditional religious guy. I study religion faithfully at least 10 hours a day. I meditate. I'm deep, deep, deep. I'm so deep. That's what got me to deal with that tequila, by the way, because it's based in roots and tradition and history and authenticity. So when I told my daughter, you're gonna find out all about me, and I won't deny anything. I'll always answer your questions. And I said, there's no point in me telling you anything. The best way for me to guide you is walk beside you, because you're going to end up doing what you want to do anyways. And only listen to what I'm telling you. Don't steal, don't lie, and don't do drugs that are going to get you in trouble, because you're going to meet boys. You're going to start drinking. You're going to have experiences. Everybody tries marijuana, but I'm going to tell you right now, cocaine will fuck you up. You're going to get raped, killed. Some bullshit will happen. I don't give a shit what your boyfriend says. I don't care what the party says. I'm telling you now. Listen to what the fuck I'm telling you. You hear those stories about your dad, mafia, fucking collecting money, all these shit. You know who your uncle is, Robert, my friend, the black guy in the movie. So you know what the fuck he would do to guys. I'm telling you now, stay the fuck away from cocaine. And don't lie to me. And always, 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 I don't give a fuck how bad it is. Understand, I will always be there for you. And even if you're guilty, I will never judge you. And that's how I raised my daughter.
That's a really beautiful way to.
I mean, I took my daughter on the streets in the fucking ghetto in Mexico City, in a fucked up place where they cut your head off, that kind of place, when she was 4 years old, as a guardian angel, side by side with me. I said, come and learn about the streets. You need to know this stuff. You need to walk. You have to respect it, and you have to walk in these streets without fear, even if you're not a tough guy, because the fucking streets are going to smell that and they will get you. So learn how to deal with this right now. And that's me and my daughter.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I think that was one of the things I really enjoyed about your movie was, that a good portion of it was really devoted to the fact that, like, it's very obvious that that's the most important thing in your life, and what everything else revolves around. And we talked about how it's like a really cool thing that like in an ideal world that like you would just want to sit and play PlayStation with her. And I think there's something so yeah, exactly. And I think there's something awesome about like, yeah, just like all I really want to do is like game with my kid. And I think that connects. I think that connected with all of us in a way. And
Cool. I'm glad.
yeah, no, and just like the ability to, because like the character, right? Like the gimmick of Vampiro and like that side of you is like watching all your stuff. Like that's not what you would fully expect, right? Like that's not the image that you construct as a professional wrestler. So
Yeah. But the easiest way to answer that is that Vampiro character wasn't a gimmick or a character. That's who I am 24/7. I used to come off the street in my clothes and go in the ring. So those weren't costumes. I mean, yeah, it's all about authenticity.
Yeah.
Sure.
Turn it up.
Oh,
yeah, I guess. Yeah, but I guess just seeing the fact that like that part of it was really touching because
thank you.
It felt really it just felt really real. And
I was abandoned by my dad, and my mom did everything for me. My mom is my hero. My mom, and I got divorced when my daughter was two or 2.5 or something like that, 3. And I had broken my neck in WCW, so I was kind of like in a wheelchair, paraplegic almost. And I could have gone to the WWE. I could have fought for it. I could have went to, I was in Japan, All Japan, full time. But I thought, I'm getting divorced, and I'm only allowed to see my daughter 2 weekends a month. I kind of stopped. That was kind of the end of my career. I've been fucking around with wrestling, and I come and go, but I stopped pursuing it as becoming one of the top echelon guys when I got divorced, because I thought I'm only going to have the opportunity to see my daughter 4 days of the month. I'm not going on the road and missing those days. So I kind of gave up on wrestling, and I did it so that I could eat and I can take care of my injuries, and so I could be around my daughter. And that was pretty much what happened.
Yeah. You mentioned Japan. Did you work with Jericho in Japan?
With Jerkoff Co? Yeah. We were partners one time. I mean, I did a few tours with him in WAR, WAR. And but like 3 or 4 trips maybe. But no, not really. I've never worked against Chris.
Okay.
I think that it would be a great match. But I know we were partners, and Chris was he was more over in Japan than I was, and he was a better worker, and he worked that style, and he was going to that company longer than I was. So I was always in a lower match, and that's completely cool. But no, we never worked against each other in Japan.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So go ahead, Isaac. Sorry. Oh,
no, go for it.
No, I was just gonna ask. Earlier we were talking, and obviously you were huge in AAA, and then obviously you go to Lucha. Just to bring it back to Lucha Underground real quick. How was the feeling in the temple for Lucha Underground comparative to like the crowd in AAA? Were they similar? Was it just a completely different feeling? Because obviously both crowds were just exploding for everything at all times. Very hot. So did you feel similarly, or were they just like obviously in your life they were completely different experiences? But
it was weird. It was weird because the fame of Vampiro in Mexico was his scandals and his scandalous entrances with that explosive pop. So there's that urban legend that they heard, look, if you give fucking Vampiro the microphone and you give him a job and you put him in the ring to warm the crowd up, he's going to make them insane.
Okay.
and they're going to be hot the whole night. So I went out there, and I, as time went on, it became a thing. Because at first it was just, okay, you have to cheer here, you have to cheer there. And then after that, it became a show. And then it became like a 10-minute thing. It became so fucking cool that people were proposing to each other in the ring during my segment. So once you cultivate that kind of relationship with people,
yeah,
when they see that you are one of them, they will love you forever. And because I knew more about Mexico than a lot of the Mexicans did in LA. And here's this white kid, and he speaks Spanish like a street fucking level thug in Mexico, and he knows about tequila, and he knows about Mexican cuisine, and he knows the history, and he knows how fucking the USA came into California and gave it to them in the ass and took it away from them, and all these things. And I was hitting it all, and I was talking like a cholo, and I, but not like the accent and the bullshit phrases. I was telling you stories. I explained where the temple was built and what happened there in the Zoot Suit riots, and then with the fucking. That movie Gangster Squad, you remember that one? I've
never seen that one.
No, that movie happened for real in Boyle Heights, and it was underground boxing with the mafia and shit. So that where we were doing the temple, that was a legit place. There was all around there, and they didn't even know that, and I did. So they were like, "Where the fuck did this guy come from?" You get the crowd going, and I'm saying, "Give me the fucking microphone." And that was it. It was off, and I had the people here, right there, and they were ready. So because it's Mexicano, cabrón. You know what I mean? It's like it's a fucking Mexican thing, man. You've got to be there and you convert.
You had Danny Trejo in the crowd a few times.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, that was the crowd there was always incredible. And part of that was I think the show you were putting on was especially as far as like the in-ring work.
No. The magic of that is Mexican, not American versions of lucha libre. Mexican lucha libre is all about the fan interaction.
And it was awesome.
What happened to my fucking phone, dog?
Oh no, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So so the magic of Mexican wrestling. Look, what you saw in Lucha Underground in Mexico, everybody does that on a fucking Sunday with their eyes closed. They're like, yeah, that's easy. Mexico is another thing. It's the people who you got to understand what they're saying. They're fighting with each other. It's going back and forth. They're fighting with the guy in the ring, and it's this whole interaction. It's a show. That's why the crowd is hot, because Mexican Lucha Libre is not in the ring. It's in the stands, brother, and not a lot of people know that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was such an incredible show. I mean, in so many ways, like, and I don't think it got the credit it deserved. I mean, you look at the roster you guys had, and where 90%, 95% of those guys are now, and what they're doing, and I think one of the things that I really has always stuck with me is the ability of Lucha Underground to make everyone, whether you're supposed to cheer for them or you're supposed to boo these people, everybody came out looking good. Like I don't feel like, like everyone talks about, Cody Rhodes is burying so-and-so, Triple H is burying so-and-so, and never felt like anyone was like tried to like put in a situation where they looked bad, where they were just like made to look like shit. Like everyone had a fighting chance. Even, you look like at matches like Ivelisse fighting Mil Muertes for the championship. Like they just had, you guys had such a good way of making people look strong. And a lot of that was like you guys on commentary, being able to put people over, but also, I mean, the in-ring work and just like the ability for these people to wrestle and the Lucha Libre, as you're saying, is just like, it was an incredible show.
I thank you for that. And I think the talent, that was one of the only times I've seen a whole complete roster be hungry to be taught psychology. So that was that their talent and all of that is on them. They're the best in the world, and they won't be duplicated. But they listen to psychology, and we really went off of the Japanese thing that when you lose the match, you look stronger. So we really went with that mindset. And I told Matt Stryker, I said, you do you. When I go off, fucking turn it up, because what I'm doing is I'm accenting everything you're saying so the people at home understand your emotion. Because, you know, you're telling a story and people are watching that crazy acrobatic wrestling, but they're not, oh shit, what was that? They're forgetting to breathe.
Yeah.
So my job, that's why I would go in the crowd, and because people were like, what do we do? Well, you fucking go, that's what you do. So they're looking for, can we? Yes. That's what I did. That's what I do, is give people the okay to cross the line, and it's fun. It's safe.
Yeah, I mean, but like the thing is with the Lucha Underground crowd is that nobody, at least to my knowledge, ever really went over the line in the crowd. Like the stuff you guys were doing, as far as like throwing people into the chairs and fighting through the crowd the way you guys did, you would never see another promotion do something quite like that. But there was just, it always seemed like there was this cool respect. Well, American, I'm sorry, but yeah, no, like there always was just this cool connection between fans and wrestlers and commentators and everyone working, and obviously that's the Mexican style that you've been talking about, that everyone is just in this together, and you know.
But it was different, man, because the fans at the Lucha Underground would show up and they would have barbecues and they would camp out overnight.
Tailgating.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy. So some of the wrestlers would go hang out. Me and Matt Stryker would go out and hang out a bit, you know, puff with the fans and all that. And plus it was there was an age restriction, so you had to be over 18 to get in there.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I always wondered, because I was like, there are no fucking kids.
No, and then they had a lounge and they had a VIP bar and they had a full bar, and so it was a show. I mean, before you even got in to see wrestling, you already gone through the barbecue and you had some beers, and we tried to make it a cool ass experience, and it really was. And people, you know, got to know us. We became friends, and there was the same people every single week. It became a family. It was
you would
great.
Definitely, because there was some point. Were you filming one episode a week, or were you doing a few, like multiple episodes?
3 a day.
3 a day.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Damn. All right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because sometimes I'd wonder, because did people like move around the crowd, or were you just keeping the crowd in the same spots? And
no, like we would do one show, then we'd switch people, and we'd switch again for the third one. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, for sure.
Nice. Yeah, I loved it. Do you now, speaking of the crowd, and I mean in the situation where we're at now with pro wrestling and COVID, if this goes on, is it possible to really do professional wrestling, lucha libre especially, but just professional wrestling without a live crowd? Does it? Huh?
If what goes on?
COVID and just like the lack of having
lie that the government's telling the whole world.
Well, I mean, but the whole idea that like you're not allowed to have public gatherings, right? And so like you're having like the state ban public gatherings. Can the professional wrestling business survive without a live crowd?
There's an ABC into that. First of all, the world's opening up again, and it's going to go slower, but the venues are coming back. Can pro wrestling survive without an audience? Not if they do it like pro wrestling live. If you turn it into a Big Brother style show, and the matches it's just like a soap opera for dudes with fighting in it, and you create these characters where you develop them as personalities. You don't even fight or wrestle on TV. You make them become actors, so that when you do go back to the live events, people understand who they're supposed to cheer for and why. But if you keep doing it with just matches, it's like, really, dude, you're 40 fucking years old and you're that angry? And you really want that belt that everybody can buy now on highspots.com? So you can go to any indie promotion in the world, and there's 752,000 more championship belts. You're really, 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 really that angry? Okay. know what I mean?
Well, that was the thing with Lucha is like it felt fresh. It felt different than anything else like that we had seen up to that point. Like you could have, wasn't there was it felt like even some of it was like over the top and like like telenovela style at points. Like it felt interesting. Like I don't know. I was always
a comic book. It was based on a comic book, and we were going to tour. And we were going to put these characters and sell this comic book, and it was supposed to become a serial animated movie series, and that was the whole point of Lucha Underground. It was like the DC universe, the Marvel universe. There was an alternative planets and alternative dimensions, and that's why it was never. That's why there was never a championship match. You had to win all the pieces of the belt to get to build it, because it wasn't from Earth. It was from another time, and we had time travelers in the fucking thing, and we had monsters, we had zombies, we had fucking Frankenstein.
Marty the Moth.
I was gonna say creepy ass Marty the Moth, dude.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we had a great time telling people a story. I mean, it's Star Wars. Is Star Wars going to happen in our lifetime? I don't think so. But you want to see those lightsabers, and you want to see a big fucking dude who's like a big Bigfoot who everybody understands except you. It's like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? And you got the little Ewoks and shit. It's like, it's fucking impossible. But I want to watch that. It's fun as fuck. And we tried to make it like that, because life's too serious, man. And it's just like everything is just like regulated, and you got to conform, and you got to do things a certain way. Yeah, I'm not about that. So we just wanted people to have an escape, and they did.
Yeah, well, you've given us a lot of escapes. One of my favorite moments of yours of recent, and I think we played it. We played it on the show. It's an amazing clip. You can find it on YouTube, and it's a you and Matt Stryker, and I think it was one of the AAA events, maybe AAA Mania. And you guys are doing a commentary, and there's some sort of time limit gauntlet match, and the referee doesn't get down to give a 3 count with like 2 or 3 seconds left, and you lose your fucking mind. Like, you absolutely lose your mind at this referee, and you're shouting. You're just shouting. This is
it sucks. It sucks so much.
It sucks so much. Fuck this guy in his fairy white boots, and you're going off. And Matt Stryker, it's an amazing clip. And Matt Stryker is like, well, there's only a couple seconds left, and he saw he didn't have enough time to make the count. You're like, no, that's bullshit. That's it's just like, you could tell that like what it is that it genuinely pissed you off, because it was like a moment that would have been a great moment to see him down there for the 1-2, and then
you have that clip.
I think he's going to be able to pull it up here in a second.
I don't remember that. I mean,
I know I can find it.
I'm on it,
because it's one of my absolute favorite moments. And
live TV, right?
Yeah, I think it was on I'm pretty sure it was one of the pay-per-views.
Was I producing at that time, or was I just commentating with Matt?
I think
I was producing. That's why I freaked out so much.
So it's from 2015, the AAA Lucha World Cup, and referee Piero.
Yeah, that fucking dick.
Yo,
oh my God, you have it? I gotta see that. I mean, I don't need to see the whole match.
No. Working on it right now.
It's a couple minutes, and they compile it into like the best of it. Do you need a link for it? Because I found it.
I have it pulled up already.
Great.
Yeah, can you put it up here or no?
Yeah. Oh, we'll share it for you.
Oh, I gotta see this.
Led to the end of the match here. Could this be the same? Oh.
Does it turn it up a little bit?
Up with that. Oh, that was an 18 count. Come on, ref. At least the referee is consistent. Well, he's got nice white boots. Well, New Japan has red shoes, and we have He's got white fairy boots. You can read into that, and yes, it's true.
Back to the action in the ring.
For time.
Clock is ticking down, and no fighter is near the ring. Hang on a second. Mundo is in. Clock is at 4, 3, 2. Referee's not even getting down for a count. And again,
so much.
we go.
So much, dude. You suck so much. You Gabriel, referee, you're going to go for the count. No.
Vamp,
Why?
the official saw that the cover came with 2 seconds left, did not want to waste the time, understood what was at stake. We go into 5 minutes sudden death.
I just want
Here, look right here. The
Yeah.
clock is at 2. You're right, he's not down. You're right. Whoa. How do you really feel?
Oh my.
Hey.
He's like,
So now this team here, Team USA,
God.
That he sucks so much is something that has permeated at least me and Isaac's lives. I don't know about those,
I say it,
but I think he
it
sucks so
daily.
much, yeah, on a daily basis.
I can't believe I did that.
Were you producing at that point?
I don't know what the fuck I was doing.
Because I mean, I can understand it because I've seen like they show it in your documentary. You know, like you get passionate about what you do. You care.
Oh, I just break the monitor. I throw things. Oh yeah. I yell.
But yeah, it's
I run up to the ring and I fucking smack the TV camera guy. Yeah. I'm a real asshole. But that's what you want,
Yeah.
I mean,
and it works. You could always tell. And Matt Stryker used to say this, and he's such a pussy he'll never admit it. You could tell the matches I was the agent for in Lucha Underground. The more aggressive, the more violent, the ones that had the holy shit moments, those were mine. And because I just spent so many years never really learning how to wrestle, but I learned how to pop the crowd. I learned how to tell a story.
Angelico diving off The Office. And
Well, that was he did that when he just came to, and we were there one day in the ring where he was like, you think I can jump off of that roof and hit the guy in the middle of the ring? And I was like, yeah, go ahead, yeah, fucking sure you can. He goes, okay, what are you doing? And he ran up there and did it. He just did it, and he landed on his fucking ass. Didn't kick anybody. He just did it while we were in the ring. He just literally got out, ran up, did it, came in there. We were like, bro, are you fucking out of your mind? So then, he dropped.
You did that for nobody, just to prove
it. Yeah.
Just to prove you could do it.
Yeah.
That's
Jesus.
straight to hell.
I mean, the drop kick was insane. The
drop kick on the ladder.
That was insane. That whole trios match was insane, man. Like Ivelisse on one leg.
Yeah, and that was for real.
Oh yeah.
And she's tough.
I'm a huge fan of hers, man.
Sadly, our time is beginning to wind down here. I just want to touch on one thing. Before we got on, you teased there may be an announcement or something big you might have for us. Anything you got for us, Vampiro? Anything you want to plug?
But your shit's winding down, so can't do it. Sorry.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, actually I can. It's not official yet, but I'll tell you guys. I can't say the name of the company, but you are definitely going to see in the month of March full-time Vampiro and Matt Stryker commentating again.
Shut up.
Oh, yeah.
This is the best news I've heard in 2021 by far.
You're going to be surprised because it's not pro wrestling.
Oh.
All right.
Now I'm really intrigued.
A return of roller derby.
I'll watch some roller derby just to hear them commentate again.
College softball.
Awesome. So definitely keep an eye on that. You got anything else? You have a Twitch? You have a Twitch?
Yeah, I live on Facebook, so my Facebook is just Vampiro. It's got that blue check, and that's I do everything on there. I'm starting the game online. I do all my Facebook. Everything I do. I got Twitter and Instagram and all that, but the Facebook is it for me. And you come to my Facebook, you're going to see where I'm at. I send you, there's all kind of shit popping up. Instagram and Twitter is all connected, but Facebook, it's just Vampiro, and it's the only one. There's a million.
Yeah, you are the only Vampiro, man.
Yeah, like there's a big dick. That's me though. So
Better
that's,
than being a small one, man. I'll tell you that.
this
But-
is gonna go drive them nuts trying to figure it out. Yeah. I couldn't tell you, but it's
No, I'm gonna
it's
wait
something
for the surprise.
it's so fucking insane that there's no way it should be happening. I'll tell you this too. It didn't originate in North America.
All right.
Ooh.
All right. So next month.
Yeah.
All right, full time.
Actually, in exactly 20 days. No, in exactly 1 month. March 18th.
All right.
March 18th. Mark it on your calendars, junkies.
Yeah, if when you're nursing that St. Patty's hangover, you'll have something to watch on the couch.
Yeah.
But until next time, we have been Such Good Shoot. Thank you for joining us tonight with our great interview with our great guest, Vampiro.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
man.
We look forward to seeing you again on March 18th.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you, man.
You guys have a good night.
And
You
remember
too.
to like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon right here on Pro Wrestling Junkies.